Hi everyone, Frank here from Retro Barbershop in Limerick. I'm back to you again with another tutorial. So today what we're going to do is we're going to create a crop fringe on our mannequin head, and I'm also going to add in some texture using my Texturizing Razor. So this is going to create movement and create visual texture in the hair. I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, so what we've done is we've sectioned off the top area and we're going to start in the center. So this has already been cropped already, so I'm just going to work from this side just to make it easier to see. And we're just going to take it up maybe about 1/4 inch. So you have to be careful that you don't go too high that the hair is going to bounce. So when you're doing a crop fringe, you're checking your guide all the time just to make sure that the height is correct and the customer's happy enough with the height that it's going to be at. So move on to the other side. So I generally start at the center and then work off the sides. The elevation is at 0 degrees, so I'm literally going on the natural fall of the hair. So I tend to rest the scissors on the skin and just run it across the head. And just brush away the loose hairs. So I'm just creating the outline of the crop here. When this is dry, I'm going to be going back over it with my my BARBER detailer, just to sharpen this up a little bit more. So it's just getting a rough outline and a rough idea of what height we're going to be working at. Okay. So now we've the fringe section done, and we're going to work back through the haircut then using our Texturizing Razor. So I'll just tilt the head down just so you can see a little bit better. So what we're going to do is we're going to start in the center section, and these teeth on the Texturizing Razor have kind of little bumps and valleys in them. So when we slice it through the hair, or when we run it down through the hair like this, it just breaks the hair a little bit and just creates some crevices and bumps in the hair. So it just creates a little bit of movement. So you take it like a normal horizontal section and then bring it in behind your fingers and then just slice down through the hair, keeping your tension good always as well. So this will just shatter the hair, break the hair up nicely and create nice movement. Obviously it depends on the type of hair then as well. Some people will have fine hair and thick hair, so that will dictate how heavy you can go with the blade. So obviously if the hair is a little bit stronger, like on these mannequin heads, you can be a little bit firmer. Obviously I probably may not use this technique with someone with very fine hair. So again, starting in the center, try and keep your elevation low if possible. And again, it's just the middle ends and ends. Bring the hair forward. 1, 2, 3. So it's just another option if you want to add texture to the hair, and it's nice to have a few different methods and a few different techniques other than using your thin and scissors or other than point cutting. So we literally repeat this, working back through the head up to the crown area. You'll notice as well that I'm actually doing this on, it's not fully wet, it's probably more towel dried hair. So the reason for that is just I can really see the movement in the hair a little bit more. Probably wouldn't recommend doing this on fully dry hair, but I like to do it on towel dried damp hair. Move on to the next section, and so on. And we just repeat this back as far as we get to the crown area, and then we move on to the fringe. So you can see already when we kind of mess the hair up a little bit, the hair stands and it gives a little bit of volume, a bit of shape and a bit of movement already, with just very little texture. Okay, so we have the fringe blunted off. I'm going to refine it and polish it up a little bit more, and we've texturized the top using our Texturizing Razor. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go with our BARBER detailer, and I'm going to just define the fringe a little bit more, just to create a little bit more sharpness and take away these loose hairs here. So again, starting in around the center section and work off the sides. It's always tricky to start on the side and then work towards the center, I find, because you could start a little bit too high on the sides And before you know it, by the time you get to the center section, you're actually gone too high. So I've already previously cut this haircut, so we've done, I think it was like a medium to high skin fade on it. So the crop haircut actually ties in really nicely with that cut. So you can see how using your detailer on the fringe just gives it a little bit more detail, a lot sharper obviously looked in as well. You can kind of create some shapes if you want to as well, if you want to add in a little bit of creativity. If you wanted to, you could actually go higher in a section, or you can go at an angle if you wanted to do something. Even if we did a diagonal line or something, or so even just something subtle. It wouldn't be for everybody, but it's a nice feature. You can use. Some people will really enjoy it. The trick is, if you're using your detailer, I generally have my left hand on the detailer, so if I just do it with one hand and I have it freehand, it's okay, but it can move a little bit too much. So for extra control, I always like to use my other hand, my left hand. And that just keeps it a little bit steadier and just gives me a little bit more control. Okay, just go over that area a little bit, just make it a little bit sharper. The more I go into it, the more aggressive it's going to be, the more it's going to stand out. So it's not for everybody. It might be too commercial, it might be a little bit more creative, but there is customers out there who want something like this. They want something a bit different. So it's nice to be able to offer to them, or just to let them know that you can do it. Okay, so that's the fringe area detailed out. Now we're going to go back to the top area. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the texturizing razor, or your feather razor, some people call it as well. So in the previous technique, we would have slid down through the hair to create a movement like that. The other technique we're going to use is we're going to use the top of the razor, and we're going to slice down through the hair. So again, I'm going to do this very freehanded. There's no real sections involved. So using the top of the razor, I'm just going to slice down through the hair wherever I feel it'll create a little bit more movement. The hair is dry at this stage, so you have to be careful when doing it on dry hair. Obviously you don't want to drag or create too much discomfort for the customer, but if your blade is good and is sharp, they won't even feel it. So just with the very tip of the razor, I'm trying to get in at a 45-degree angle, and it just creates a little bit more movement, a little bit of extra movement. So it's very similar to maybe slicing with your scissors. And just work diagonally across the head, wherever you feel you need to work it. So it's very visual and it's very freehand. Okay, so just the last thing, just to polish off the haircut and just to refine it, I'm going to take freehand sections. I'm going to use my my normal scissors, and I'm going to deep point cut just to create just that little bit of extra movement. This hair is quite thick, so I'm just feeling that it just needs to be texturized that little bit further. So again, I'd use your texturizing technique with your razor first, and then just towards the end of the haircut, if you feel you need to refine it, if you feel you need to go a little bit deeper, just go back in with your point cutting. So with the point cutting here, I'm just taking freehand sections, and it's really middle ends and ends. So I literally have my fingers on the scalp, plenty of hair through, comb into my thumb, middle ends and ends. So I'm coming down vertically on the hair. If I come at an angle, I'm going to shorten the hair, which I don't want to do. I just want to create that movement and just break it up. So it's very visual. If you had your mirror in front of you, obviously that's what you'd be using as well. So as you're looking in the mirror, you can see the movement you're creating, and you can see the areas that don't have that movement and that you need to go back in and break up. Okay, so we just need to apply a little bit of product and we're all done. Okay, so the last thing we got to do is just add some product. I didn't put any product in beforehand, just not with the texturizing razor. I just literally just sprayed it down with water. So the last thing I'm going to use is 1922 J&Q, and this is matte measure. So what this is, it's just it's dry paste. So it just gives kind of a natural finish to the hair. You could also use a powder if you like as well. It's just kind of a personal preference. So again, you just run it through with your fingers, just creating a little bit of movement. And because of the texture that we put into the haircut, it will allow us to get a little bit of volume in the hair here, and the hair just won't sit flat to the head. So we can put a little bit through the fringe as well, the fringe area, and then we can recomb that back into place. Let's give it a tiny bit. Obviously you don't want to overload the hair with products. That's a thing that I see a lot as well. A lot of people overload the product, and especially people styling hair at home, they put on too much. So put on a small amount, rub it into the hands, and really work it through. You can always add more in later. So less is more. Okay, so I'm going to leave this area kind of nice and ruffled. So it's a bit fuller, a bit more volume. This haircut could be done with a longer fringe also as well. You don't have to keep it at that length. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. So just to recap, what we were doing is this haircut was pre-done on a video we did a few weeks ago, and we cropped out the fringe, brought it up a bit shorter, and then that was with the scissors, and then we finished it off with my detailer just to get a nice sharp finish on it. And then on the top, I used my texturizing razor, working from the front back, using the razor to create nice movement in the hair. At the end then, I just created a little bit more movement by point cutting with the razor, and also point cutting with my my regular scissors then as well. So yeah, I think it came out well, and it's a haircut you can use in the salon. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and we're going to be back hopefully later in the week and next week with more videos. See you soon. Thank you.